So here we're in the front of the house, and you can see that Jefferson is building what looks like a one-story house, but it's really a two-story. He wants the lower level to be accessible from the back, so that's why he has to dig out the house and kind of sink the house down a little bit to get the right levels. But Jefferson is doing a lot of things at once. So, for instance, when he gets the enslaved people to dig out the south lawn, he thinks, what am I going to do with all this dirt? I don't want to haul it away too far. So he creates two mounds on each side of the house that become decorative and act like pavilions in a 5-part Palladian plan. Very clever. But here in front of the house, what you can see, what I'm standing on, is a restored carriage turnaround with quartz cobblestones that are about as big as your fist. And these were found archaeologically underneath the layer that I'm standing on. We kept the originals down there, and we put this restored layer on top. And so this is a good case where archaeology and architecture come together. We spent probably 2 years excavating this carriage turnaround. It was funded by the Garden Club of Virginia, which usually does not fund archaeology, but they paid for the research. And then we put in grass, and then the next thing are some flower beds with roses. So archaeology is looking at landscape features, but because we're dealing with Jefferson, architecture and landscape are never separated. They're always together. Jefferson is really one of the first landscape architects in America, and his landscapes here at Poplar Forest are not so much what he's doing at Monticello, but what he intends to do at the White House but doesn't do. So it stands to reason he's at the White House planning Poplar Forest, and he's thinking about both those landscapes at the same time. So on each side of the house, at least on this side, you see these bigger trees. Jefferson originally has a double row of paper mulberry trees that connect the house to each mound, still being symmetrical. And he does these trees spaced so that you could put a wing in between them. Over here on the east, he does put a 100-foot wing. He never puts a balanced wing on the other side, but still the landscape is in conjunction with the architecture. And that's where archaeology has been very critical, not only finding artifacts, but finding landscape features, finding enslaved people's cabins, finding fences, finding roads. All of this, is one comprehensive investigative project. It's just that out here, the archaeologists work in horizontal layers. When we go in the house, we'll talk about how I work in vertical layers, but it's still the same kind of process.